MPs have voted in favour of proposals to legalise assisted dying in England and Wales. The bill will now face many more months of debate and scrutiny by MPs and peers who could choose to amend it with the approval of both houses of parliament needed for it to become law. It is also possible the bill could fall and not become law at all. The bill, which is called the Terminally Ill Adults End of Life Bill, would make it legal for over 18 who are terminally ill to be given assistance to end their own life. A very controversial law, as you'd expect, and a highly debated law that's happening over here right now in the UK. Again, as you'd expect. So these are the requirements listed. They must be resident of England and Wales and be registered with a GP, doctor's surgery basically, for at least 12 months. They must have the mental capacity to make the choice and be deemed to have expressed a clear, settled, and informed wish free from coercion or pressure. They must be expected to die within 6 months. They must make 2 separate declarations, witnessed and signed by them or a proxy on their behalf, about their wish to die. 2 independent doctors must be satisfied the person is eligible, and there must be at least 7 days between the doctor's assessments. A High Court judge must hear from at least one of the doctors and can also question the dying person or anyone else they consider appropriate. There must be further 14 days after the judge has made the ruling, although this can be shortened to 48 hours in some circumstances. Under the bill, a doctor can prepare the approved substance. The bill does not detail what medication this is, but the person themselves must take it. No doctor or anyone else would be allowed to administer the medication to the terminally ill person. The doctor would stay with the person until they had self-administered the substance and died, or the doctor determines the procedure has failed. The person could decide not to take it, however, in which case the doctor would have to remove the substance immediately. Doctors would also not be under any obligation to take part in the assisted dying process. This is called physician-assisted suicide. Voluntary euthanasia is different, and this is a health professional administers the drugs to the patient. Deaths covered by the assisted suicide bill would not need to be investigated by a coroner. But the bill would make it illegal for someone to pressure, concur, or use dishonesty to get someone to make a declaration that they wish to end their life, or to introduce someone to self-administer an approved. Guilty of either of these actions, they could face a jail sentence up to 14 years. What's not included in the bill is how much the system would cost, who would pay, and what would the workload be. And there is no detail about a judicial process, namely how the evidence would be put before the High Court judge. Lord Thomas, a former Lord Chief Justice, told the BBC's Today programme that it cannot be a rubber stamping process, and judges must be satisfied there is no coercion. A person seeking assisted dying would be advised to consider telling their family and GP, but would not legally have to do so. The law would apply to England and Wales. A separate bill is already in discussion in Scotland. Meanwhile, politicians in Jersey and the Isle of Man have already backed plans to introduce assisted dying, and the process to bring in legalisation is underway. So as I said early on, this is a very, very controversial topic right now. I've only just discovered it as of yesterday at the time of this recording. I think I've heard of it in the past, but nothing really came out of it. I was going through some of these different articles that I discovered related to this topic. I was like, this does sound familiar, but I can't really trace my sense of knowledge to previous sources of information, if that makes sense. I personally don't know how I feel about it. Like, I completely understand some people's mindsets that would be for this legalization. I also understand some of the people's mindsets who would not be on board with this legalization as well. So you're looking at it for like two different perspectives for the most part. I completely get, like, somebody might be living with a real terminal illness such as like cancer, and they have no loved ones around them, and they're in pain every single day of their lives, and they can't really do anything that they used to be able to do and enjoy the things that they used to be able to enjoy, you know, like physical activities and whatnot. And they might be just like laying there miserable day after day in pain, and they might feel like, you know, what is left for me here, in a sense. And this bill might be something that they would be looking into and think that could be something that I would be considering in some ways. However, again, there might be people who have the same sort of illness who might disagree with this whole bill in general. Like, no, you know, even though it's an option out there, that's fine, it's an option, but we should be able to fight, continue fighting, and live our lives as much as possible with the time that we have left. You know, each person's circumstances are different, and I'm always saying, your body, your choice, your life, your choice. You know, similar conversations have happened in the world in terms of abortions, for example, where people are debating left and right whether or not it should be illegal, whether or not it should be legal, whether or not a person should do it, whether or not a person shouldn't do it, back and forth, back and forth. I'm not trying to compare these two situations, not at all, but like, in my mindset, in terms of a debate, I can see similar circumstances here connecting with each other, if that makes sense. I'm not one for politics, I don't really bother with politics. I'm not brave enough for politics to make a Star Wars reference, if I'm being really honest. People out there who have much more educated opinions and more educated feelings on this situation than I, for example, which is absolutely fine. If this is a thing in other countries, such as like the US, for example, and other places in Europe, like France, Germany, you know, I'd like to know if this is a thing over there and how the legal system works over there in terms of this situation. That's what gets my curiosity triggering the most, is learning about other countries and how they feel about this decision. If there is a thing in this, if this is a thing in their country, and how their law represents this decision making ability, and how the law system in their country handles this sort of how the law system in their country represents the wish of a dying bill, of a assistant dying legalisation bill. There's no right or wrong in this situation. Like, it all comes down to a personal choice, and regardless of who it is that's voting, at the end of the day, it's their choice, it's their feelings on the matter. We don't know their circumstances, we don't know their opinions, we just know that they feel this is the right decision, or no, this is not the right decision. I believe, as of right now, 330 people have voted to legalise it in the UK, and 270 people, I think it was, had voted to not legalise it in the UK. So that tells me there's not a huge amount of difference between the votes. Like, some people are not that far apart on their opinions and their feelings on the matter. But, you know, we shall see what happens. If further development comes from this story, or this new potential law, I will do a follow-up video on it. But that could be like months from now, for all we know. Like I said, thank you all for tuning in to today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Please feel free to give me your opinions down below, whether or not you agree with the assisted dying bill, whether or not you disagree with it. If this is a thing in your country, if you live outside the UK, you know, overall, just let me know your feelings down below. And until next time, take care, stay safe, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye bye for now.